That fateful morning, I awakened to the sound of the fireworks that signified the opening of the festival. My entire body was filled with strength. I held a hand to my mouth because I couldn't help but laugh. A nutrient called hatred engorged my murderous intent. Enough said about that. I skillfully concealed my beastly fangs as I opened the window. The sky was covered in thick clouds, signifying that a storm was approaching. The stage has been set. Maybe his death cries will be drowned out by the clamor of the storm. I can't wait for the exciting finale. As I made my way to the living room, Mom and Dad were having a relaxing coffee. When they saw me, they said good morning like usual. And I said good morning back to them, like usual. That casual exchange felt so peaceful. But at the same time, I was keenly aware of the darkness eroding the inside of my heart.
Itadakimasu!
The dining table was surrounded in harmony. My heart ached as I looked at my parents and saw that they knew nothing. Sorry. The Keiichi Maebara that the two of you toiled to raise properly is already gone. And I'm the one who erased him. I shoveled the food into my mouth to take my mind off my regrets. Then I ravenously chewed it to stave off my anxiety. I could feel my eyes glistening with murderous intent. I wiped the drool from my lips, then slowly rose to my feet.
ごちそうさま。行ってきます。
I headed straight toward the entrance without hesitation. 3 folding shovels were hidden in my backpack. Shovels that were brought to go camping as a family. Nobody could ever imagine that they'd be used as tools to commit a murder. I opened the door. I looked back just once, and bid farewell to the life I'd been living until now. Then I made up my mind and took the first step down the road in front of me. The door closed behind my back. There was no longer a gentle cradle for me to lie in. Rejection and acceptance parted ways here and would never meet again. Mom, Dad, I'm no longer a person. I'm going to be a murderer. Then I cut off that train of thought. The constant self-torture and futile idealism were no longer necessary. I just need to be dedicated to what I desire.
Sayonara.
That word was aimed at myself as well. I muttered that quickly, then sat down on my bike and started pushing the pedals. I let loose on my bike and flew past the dense forest on the way to the garbage mountain. I passed by a group of cheerful-looking kids along the way. They must be on their way to the shrine. A vision of Satoko overlapped on their smiling faces. I bet the Furuta shrine grounds will look gorgeous fully decorated in the clear sunset. Covered in festive red and white curtains and filled with so many hanging lanterns. The hum of the generators powering the street stalls. The voices of the children running about. And families smiling while watching it all. Today was the day of the Watanagashi festival. I wonder if everyone is already playing around out there. But what about Satoko? I hope she'll be able to forget about those painful days soon. I wonder how long it'll be until she can show off that dazzling smile. My legs were filled with strength as I pushed the pedals. As I clenched the handlebars, I could see the blood flowing through my veins on the pale white surface of my hands. I needed that new blood. I felt an uncanny sense of omnipotence driving me. That invincible feeling boosted me forward as a tailwind blew behind me. Suddenly I felt a lifelike sensation on my back. Onward, onward, with 2 hands pushing on my back. Pushing me forward toward the end of the world. When I traveled through the garbage mountain and entered the station wagon, Reina and Shion were already waiting for me.
おはよう、ケイちゃん。
おはよ
よく眠れたかなかな。
う。おう。久しぶりに深く眠ったぞ。つきものが取れたみたいにな。
After closing the door of the station wagon, an eerily oppressive sensation enveloped us. We couldn't help but tense up. Everyone forgot how to breathe. Sweat steadily poured out of me. The tense air filled the car and circled about with no exit.
準備は
もう整ってます。
A single rope was resting in front of Reina and Shion. It was painted black, as we planned. Next to that was Satoshi's bat. I took the shovels out of my backpack and lined them up side by side. These three tools were gathered to open the path to our future. They had a profound presence, like three sacred treasures used in a ritual. A sound reminiscent of rusted metal faintly rang out. My body was growing more sensitive to the tension, so I jumped.
今、落としたよな。
え？そう。
Reina and Shion tilted their heads and exchanged glances. Was that my imagination? I looked around inside the car, then noticed a huge black duffel bag hiding behind Reina.
それ、中に何が入ってるんだ？そのバッグのところから音がしたぞ。
何言ってるの？音なんてしてないよ。圭一君の聞き間違いじゃない？
じゃあ中身見せてみろよ。
圭一君、なんだか怖いよ。
見せろって言ってんだろ。
どうしちゃったんですか？レナさんが怖がってるじゃないですか。
確かに音がしたんだよ。
Yeah, that's essentially it. Hey, did you go mad? Said all the mad people to the mad person. Yeah, kinda what we were at.
音なんてしてませんよ。
Shion stood in the way to shield Reina.
どけよ、シオン。
嫌です。ケイちゃん、おかしいですよ。そんな怖い顔して。
Reina and Shion banded together like they were contemplating an escape. They looked completely terrified as they stared at me.
なんなんだよ、お前ら。
A line of sweat dripped down my back. The pressure building up inside my body released a chill that ran along my skin, causing me to shiver. I slowly grabbed a hold of Satoshi's bat.
開けろ。
Reina's eyes were moist from the fear she couldn't hold back, but I urged her once more to open the bag. Again, game? Why? Reina looked nervous as she slowly unzipped the duffel bag. I swallowed my saliva in one huge gulp. Then she pulled the contents out of the bag, a set of 5 stacking boxes.
レナスペシャルかよ。
All strength left my body at once as I struggled to avoid collapsing to the ground.
だってすごく大きな穴掘ったらきっとお腹すくかなって。
だったらさっさと見せたらいいじゃないか。余計な冷や汗かいちまったよ。
ごめんね、圭一君。
いや、俺の方こそ怒鳴ったりしてごめんな。
Reina was pleasantly smiling. She looked relieved. I smiled back at her, though it betrayed the thoughts swirling around inside my head. That sound earlier, it couldn't have come from that zipper. It was a much stronger sound with much more destructive power behind it, a sound that pierced all the way through to my brain. It seemed like a sign, like it was trying to tell me something. Maybe my conscience was telling me I should turn back right away. Maybe I just didn't want to look ahead. Maybe I wanted to plug my ears and shut it out. I double-checked our preparations while packing the tools into my backpack. I could hear the cicadas flying far off in the distance. Then we all glanced at one another and rose to our feet.
行こ
We quietly crawled out of the station wagon and carefully made our way out of the garbage mountain one step at a time. Looking back, even though the station wagon was maintaining its balance on unstable footing, I could see it lightly shaking, a sign that it was on the verge of collapse. I tried to shake off the disturbing thoughts running through my mind as we enthusiastically pushed through the garbage mountain. We decided to hide the corpse well behind the trees. A deep, deep forest was lurking beyond. It was uncharted territory, the kind that wards off entry. It seemed like a miracle that we were able to travel here from the garbage mountain without anyone seeing us. When I looked up at the sky, I saw a thick, dark cloud that helped conceal our presence. All right, even the heavens are on our side.
ここにしましょう。
I stabbed my shovel down at the point Shion indicated.
まるで墓標みたいだね。
あの男にとってはそうですね。でも私たちにとっては金字塔かもしれませんね。
Tonight will be his final night. And then we can celebrate this day every year. We can take pride in it as the anniversary of the day we made the right choice.
掘ろうぜ。
I put my strength into my fingertips and pierced the surface of the soil over and over again. Shion and Reina joined in without saying a word, unrelentingly digging into the dirt with our hearts full of hatred. Our shovels pierced the ground at shallow angles. We insatiably dug at the dry soil. Reina suddenly let out a soft laugh.
レナ、
あのね、ちょうど去年の今頃ね。
Reina looked far off in the distance.
レナ、さとこちゃんとばったりゴミ山で会ったの。その時、レナはすごく寂しくて、心細くて、一人で泣いてた。それをさとこちゃんに見られちゃった。
It's very possible. It's very possible that they have different definitions of him and us. Reina timidly shrugged her shoulders as she wiped the sweat from her forehead.
笑って何でもないよって言ったんだけど、さとこちゃん心配そうな顔で泣き出したの。レナさんが泣くなら私も泣くってワンワン泣き出したの。泣きながらね、一人で泣くといつまでも涙が止まらないこと私も知ってますのよって。そんなさとこちゃん見てたら私。
Reina suddenly began to smile.
可愛くていじらしくて不思議と涙が止まったの。
Hey, Dunkin' Donuts. What's up?
でね、なんだか嬉しい気分になってきて笑い出しちゃった。はじめはさとこちゃんきょとんとしてたんだけど、今度は私と一緒になって笑ってくれたの。二人で「あははははは」って大声でいつまでも飽きずに。そのことを思い出しちゃって。
さとこらしいですね。
For some reason, Shion's expression clouded over for a moment.
あの時もさとこちゃんレナよりももっと苦しんでたのに。
I thought back on how powerless I felt earlier and put a hand on Reina's shoulder.
過去は過去。今は今。でもって未来のために俺たちはこうやって集まったんだろう。
そうなんだよね。
Reina let out a quiet ee-hee-hee to herself, then picked up her shovel again. We continued tirelessly digging the hole. The dirt we dug out was really starting to pile up. Just as the hole grew deeper and deeper, the pile grew bigger and bigger, as happens when you dig. Looking down the hole was like staring into the darkness of the abyss, like gazing into a black hole. I was likely to get sucked in if I didn't keep my wits about me. I took a deep breath, wiped the sweat away, and picked up the shovel. The sweat was beating into globs on my forehead. A dull pain coursed through my biceps. A refreshing breeze blew overhead, giving us the boost we needed to maintain our rhythm. After letting out that exclamation, Shion looked up toward the sky. Then her eyes began to wander.
しーちゃん
Reina and I stopped digging and looked up.
今誰かが私の頭を撫でた気がしたんです。
Oh good, they're going even crazier. Shion closed her eyes and stiffened her expression as she said that. Then...
私
I could hear her shouting something mixed in with her sobbing voice.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
しーちゃん
That is what we call the ugly crying. Suddenly, Shion began to scream. She scratched her hair, then covered her mouth with both her hands and began trembling.
シオン、どうしたんだ？
I threw my shovel down and put my hands on Shion's shoulders. But Shion pushed me away immediately and incoherently mumbled to herself.
シオン、
私きっと殺される。
Huh?
お社様のたたりは天罰が私に下るんです。それが私に用意されていた結末。もう変えることなんかできない。
シオン、どうしたって言うんだ？お前は殺されない。殺されるのは鉄平なんだ。
そうだよ。お社様のたたりがしーちゃんに怒るはずないんだよ。
私はみんなが思ってるような人間じゃないんです。私はひどいやつ。
Keiichi ain't too great himself. We're just saying. Shion wore a vacant expression with an empty look in her eyes.
やめろよ、シオン。お前は罪人なんかじゃない。お前は正しいことをするんだ。だから罪悪感を抱える必要なんかない。
Shion slowly shook her head.
いいえ、私は最低なんです。ずっと私、お姉よりもっとひどいことを。
You know, there hasn't been anything really in any other timeline that says Shion is that terrible of a person, really. At least up to this point that you reach in the timelines. So I'm not sure what she's going on about here.
何言ってるの？しーちゃん。
私、本当
Oh,
は
so
ずっと
so we're actually back to this, are we?
嫌いだった。
We're actually back to the point where she hates Satoko now. Okay, fair enough. A line of tears ran down Shion's cheeks as she squeezed those words out.
いつもサトシ君にべったりで甘えて頼ってサトシ君の愛情を一身に受けて、それが当たり前って顔で笑ってるサトコにずっと嫉妬してた。
Maybe getting memories from another history. Maybe.
本当は私、サトコが羨ましかったんですね。
Because it doesn't seem like any of that's happened in this timeline, although we aren't looking through her point of view this time, so you never know.
サトコになれたらいつだってサトシ君のそばにいられるから。サトシ君のことを好きになればなるほど、サトコへの憎しみがどんどん募って抱えきれないくらい膨らんでいって。
Huge tears began pouring out of Shion's eyes. She collapsed to the ground with both her hands in the dirt, then fiercely wiped the corner of her eyes with her muddy hands.
私心の中で思っちゃったんです。もしも本当にお社様がいるならば、里子を不幸にしてくださいって。
シオン、お前。
やっぱりお社様って存在するのかな。だって里子の一番の不幸はサトシ君がいなくなることなんだから。姿は見えなくとも私たちのつぶやきを聞き逃さない。心の中まで見透かして見逃さない。
I'm not sure if Reina's reaction to this is going to be you want to talk it out or die. Either one is equally likely.
そうだよ。
It's die. Okay.
お社様はいるんだよ。
Reina muttered that quietly, but with conviction in her voice.
今も私たちを見てる。
We all fell silent, like we were all chained down or nailed in place. The cicadas cried out as if to laugh at us. A gust of wind blew by, causing the weeds by our feet to hum. I sensed the shadow moving closer to us, quickly and nimbly, moving like a whip, making the sound of footsteps in the vicinity. An eerie, out-of-place feeling ran through my entire body. Like some kind of parasite was trying to worm its way inside me, little by little. My throat felt incredibly thirsty. I felt an irresistible urge to scratch my entire body. These hallucinations were taking root deep inside me. Did something possess me to make me jump at shadows like this? I instinctively resumed digging the hole, hoping to shake off the fear stirring in my heart. Yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong by talking about Oyashiro in front of Reina.
悪いが、俺はそんなオカルト趣味の存在なんか信じないぞ。俺はお前たちを信じたんだ。サトコをこの手で救い出す。もうそれしか頭の中にはないんだ。
My heart felt like it was about to shatter right now. I was afraid to stop moving my hands. Eventually, Shion slowly rose up to evaluate the situation. Then Shion took a shovel in hand, stood next to me, and began digging into the ground.
シオン。
ケイちゃんのおかげで私、目が覚めました。私がサトコを救おうと思ったのは、サトシ君への罪滅ぼしのような思いからでした。でもそれは間違いだったと思います。私はサトコになりたかったんじゃない。サトシ君になりたかったんです。だから私はサトシ君になってサトコを救いたいと思ったんです。
Shion smiled in my direction with her face caked in mud. That expression revealed that she had made things right. For all the talking we do, we never communicate our real intentions, leaving behind gaps that clearly need filling. If I were ever to speak my true intentions so clearly, I fear my very existence would completely dry up. I was terrified of the madness it would entail. In an effort to avoid their gaze, I stepped into the hole and started digging from within. I feared that I'd start to cry if I didn't focus on digging. I couldn't let these sentimental feelings sweep me away.
俺も同じだ。だから俺はサトコを救い出さなくちゃいけないんだ。サトシのためにも。サトシを憎んだ分、俺は勇気を振り絞ってやり遂げなきゃなんないんだ。
Reina and Shion both followed my lead and climbed into the hole to start digging. Now there's nobody left on the top side to pull them out. There was no need for anyone to say anything more except, hey, you think maybe we need to stop because I don't think we can get out of this? We all kept quiet and the sweat kept flowing as we tirelessly toiled to dig the hole deeper. We all had thoughts locked away in our hearts, wicked, forbidden thoughts. Even though we all noticed, we dared not ask one another. Even if we asked ourselves, there would be no answer. Our current cause was the righteous one, helping a friend, so there was no reason to waver. Any feelings of repentance would only shake our will to carry out this murder. Isn't that the case? All human beings have traces of something truly rotten buried deep within them. Luckily, some people are fortunate enough to live a carefree life and die in peace without ever sensing the smell of corruption emanating from them. Yet, anyone who realizes it on their own, or is otherwise made aware of it, will be able to see the hell waiting for them after the corruption spreads. How ironic. Any attempt to hide it only causes the wound to spread instead of healing. Like this hole. Then someday, we'll be decaying too. Before we realized it, the sun was already starting to set. It pierced through the thick clouds to shine down on us. I looked up at the sky from the dusky base of the hole.
こんなもんかな。
On my signal, we all crawled out of the ground.
結構掘ったな。
I threw my shovel down, then crouched down to examine the hole. The shape was a little weird since we were digging from 3 different points, but the hole ended up deeper than I expected. It seemed big enough to hide a single corpse. It took quite a while to do it alone. He was working pretty well into the night. My intense breathing seemed to get sucked into the depths of the hole. Yeah, he did it twice. And it took him a long time each time. It was not a short process. The shovel slipped out of Reina's hand and rolled into the hole. She must have been exhausted.
どうしよう。レナ、ぼーっとしちゃって。
Reina stretched her hand out to pick up the shovel, but she couldn't reach. It was so far down in the darkness that it was hard to make out its shape.
しょうがないな。下降りて取ってくる。
そうですね。証拠を残すわけにはいきませんから。
ケイチ君、ごめんね。
This is the point where they hit him on the head and bury him, isn't it?
気にすんなって。
I put my hand on the edge of the hole and jumped down in a single fluid motion. I botched the landing and fell down inside the hole. The taste of the dirt swirled inside my mouth. I spit it out right away and searched for the shovel. Right away, my fingertips felt something cold and metallic. Then I grabbed the shovel and rose to my feet. But that moment... Well, here's the thing. If they dig up the corpse and find the shovel in there, that could easily lead them back to Keiichi. If they dig up the corpse. I heard that sound again, the same one I heard inside the station wagon. Then, I heard something after all. But Reina and Shion were talking up above with little regard for me or that sound. I strained my ears. With my entire body focused on listening, I was able to pick up a few words from their conversation. Keiichi, my name, mistake, kill. What? What are they talking about? Doesn't know. Pathetic. What do they mean by that? Are they talking about me? Huh? What? From before. Hate. Who? What is this? So those guys have... No. Since the beginning, they... Unable to hold it in any longer, a groan leaked from my mouth. Doesn't know anything. Will die anyway? Their conversation reeked of an unsettling stench. I was no longer able to gauge their true intentions. Right away, I began to feel distant. Are they organizing another plan without my knowledge? Did they not want me involved in their plan? Or maybe their plan has already been set in motion? All the questions crawling around in my head prevented me from thinking calmly. I took a deep breath, hoping to clear my head. Where on earth am I? Where on earth have I gone? Where am I going? Suddenly, the falling sunset was obstructed by two shadows.
ケイチ君、見つかった？
When I cautiously lifted my head, I saw Reina and Shion staring down at me with innocent smiles on their faces.
どうしたんですか？
Keiichi's hallucinating. He's gotta be hallucinating. I don't think these two are gonna betray him.
顔が青く見えますけど。
There's nothing here really to point to those two betraying him. I think he's hallucinating. He's under a little bit of stress right now.
ケイチ君、ほら、レナの手に捕まって。
Reina reached out to me with a concerned expression, but I hesitated for a moment, wondering if that hand might catch me. Was that a hallucination earlier? It must be a hallucination. Reina and Shion have no reason to betray me. So is it really a hallucination? Stop it. My heart can't take any more of this. Don't listen. Even though we planned everything out, discord was running rampant. That incomprehensible question, those two eyes, the shadows following behind, the silent phone call, wicked secrets in the two hands of Oyashiro-sama. Anytime I do something, one more thread pulls loose. I've been desperately trying not to look at it. Alright, I've decided. It's a hallucination. As I said that, a small amount of the guilt in my heart was able to release. This is a curse. This is a curse trying to stop me.
ケイチ君？
Reina had an uneasy expression, but I smiled at her and grabbed her hand.
せーの、よいしょ。
My body floated upward as Reina's hands tugged at me. The scene before my eyes looked like a kaleidoscope. Looking up at the sky, the clouds covering the area had already begun to scatter. The storm I saw earlier surely wasn't approaching. So the scenario I had constructed was already being rewritten? Am I just a puppet dancing according to someone else's script? Yes.
そろそろ時間です。
Perhaps sensing my apprehension, Shion chimed in to remind us of our time limit. I couldn't think any longer. I was tired. So now I just followed after Reina and Shion as they pressed onward, without knowing what will be waiting for us ahead. Tonight, all of this will reach its conclusion. I know, right? It's almost exactly like he's just a protagonist here.